Hello everyone, I'm Arunima from Knit and Knotter, and this is a support video for making the zigzag Tunisian pearl scarf designed by Richard Gartland. I'm just going to show you how to follow along and make it. It is a fairly simple pattern in that it is a one row repeat, and we change color at the end of the reverse pass, so at the beginning of a forward pass after every row. And it works really good if you use two variegated yarns, just like in the sample. It can be made with any weight yarn, I think, because the stitches are very straightforward, and it will be nice and drapey if you use lighter weight yarn. But for this purpose of this video, I'm going to use worsted weight yarn, which is this is Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn, and I'm using a 6.5 millimeters hook. And let's get started. So the pattern calls for making a chain of 73 stitches. It says that it's a ripple pattern that is a 12 stitch repeat. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to do two repeats, so that's going to be 25 stitches. So 12 into 2, 24 plus 1, 25 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. At this point, you have to just go ahead and pick up a loop in each chain, starting with the second chain from the hook. So this is the first one. We skip this one and go into the second. And I always like to go in the back loops. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for every stitch. So here's how it's looking. So for the purpose of this video, I'm using solid yarn, so it's easy to see the stitches, but I think this project will look really, really good with variegated yarn, just like the sample in the picture. And I have a separate tutorial for making the foundation row if you don't know how to do this. I haven't talked about how to make the foundation row in detail, so you're welcome to check out that video. I'm going to add a link in the description below. So that's the foundation row, and you should have 25 stitches on your hook because I made a 25 chain. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25. So that's 25 stitches. This is the tricky bit. So this is the hardest part, I think, in this pattern, where getting the foundation row right is important to get the rest of the pattern right. So I'm going to start with chain 1, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yarn over and close 3 together. So that's, you have to yarn over and pull through 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 loops. and then yarn over, pull through 2 9 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and then close 3 together. So then again that yarn over and pull through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the actual scarf, you'd have to do this 5 times because we start with a longer chain, but for this I'm done with the repeats, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there are 2 loops that remain on the hook. At this point we will change color. This is how it looks at the end of the first the foundation row. I still have these last 2 loops on the hook, but I wanted to show you how it looks. So the decreases happen on the reverse pass. So that's what we did. We combined 3 stitches together here and 3 over here, and the increases, as you will see further, will happen at the forward pass. So I'm going to show you how to do that, but right now at this point we're going to change color. So if you're using 2 different colors, this is where you're going to change color, and I have a separate video for to show you how to change color effectively, and I'm not going to talk about it in detail here, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So I changed color, and then I'm going to make my forward pass with this second color. So it starts with a full stitch. So you have to remember to do this full stitch and make sure that you find the right space to do that. This is the beginning stitch, the edge, the edge on the side of your working hand, and then there is this next stitch. So the first full stitch is made in between these 2 stitches here. So every stitch I talk about in this tutorial, I have a separate video tutorial for each one of them if you don't know how to make them. So the full stitch, the purl stitch, the simple stitch, everything is explained in detail in those separate videos. I will not cover them in detail here, but you will be able to see how I'm making them. So this is the full stitch, and then we make 4 purl stitches. So the full stitch is the increase. So this is where we're doing the increase, and then this is the increase in the forward pass. And if you remember, this was the decrease where we combined 3 stitches. That was the decrease at the return pass. So now I'm going to make 4 purl stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 purl stitches, and then you make a simple stitch. You make a simple stitch by picking the 3 stitches that were joined together, that were combined in the return pass. So you make a simple stitch, and so that's a simple stitch, and then you purl 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then a full stitch. So the full stitch will be made between this purl, right, this current purl, and this next stitch. So this is a full stitch, it is an increase. So full stitch, and then a simple stitch in the next stitch here, and then another full stitch. So that is another increase. I'll go right after. So that's 2 increases here, and then 4 purl stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, and then a simple stitch again by picking the next 3 that were combined in the return pass. So those 3 stitches, pick them and make a TSS, and then purl 4, and you'd have to repeat these instructions 5 times for the scarf that's in the pattern, but for the purpose of this video I'm just making a smaller swatch. So that's purl 4, and then end it with a full stitch, and then the last stitch or the edge stitch. So that's that one there. And the return pass is the same as the previous row, so as the foundation row. So you chain 1 and then yarn over and pull through 2 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yarn over and join 3, combine 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 loops, and then yarn over, pull through 2 9 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then yarn over, close 3 together, so pull through 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yarn over, pull through 2 4 times. That's because this is the end for me, but if you were making the original pattern as mentioned on my blog, it is you have to do that section 5 times, but here I'm going to end it with yarn over, pull through 2 loops 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and at this point you'll have 2 loops on the hook, and this is where you'll change color again. So this is how it's looking. You can see the decrease happening here that happens at the reverse pass, and you see these full stitch increases happening right here that happen on the forward pass. So I'm just going to go ahead, pick up that first color, yarn over, pull through, and I'm going to start making the repeat row again. So a full stitch. So now the full stitch will be between that's first stitch over here that's right under the hook and this full stitch that was made on the previous row. So you insert your hook here, make a full stitch, and then purl 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a full stitch. I'm sorry, and then a simple stitch by picking these 3 stitches that were combined in the previous row. So 3, make a simple stitch, and then purl 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we'll make an increase, a full stitch, a simple stitch, and another full stitch, and then we'll do a purl 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then another simple stitch by picking these 3 that were combined, and then purl 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then end it with a full stitch. So this is a little hard to see, but this is the stitch that we made our purl stitch in, and this is the last stitch here, the edge stitch, and you have to make your full stitch in between them there, and then you make your edge stitch or the last stitch. So that's how it looks. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25 loops on the forward pass. And I'm going to make my reverse pass now. So that's chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yarn over, combine the 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then yarn over, pull through 9 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and yarn over, pull through 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, pull through 2 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we have 2 loops on the hook. This is where we can change colors. So this is how it looks, and I'm going to make a couple more rows and show you how it looks after making those. So a couple of things worth noting here. It is easy to miss the first and last full stitches, so make sure that you're making them and you're making them at the right place, because when I started making this the first time, those are the stitches that I missed, and it's easy to miss them, especially after you have memorized the pattern, and which happens, it's a fairly easy repeat, and once you've made a few rows, it becomes easy to make them. And I sort of memorized them. I didn't really have to think about them after a while. I just made them and the numbers came to me naturally. So, but the problem with that was that I was missing the first and last full stitch quite a bit because I'd forget to make those. So make sure that you're making those, and that's pretty much it. You just keep making the same repeat. It's a one-line repeat, so the same row over and over again, just with solid colors, variegated colors, whichever yarn you'd like. And as you can see, this is actually the first swatch I've made with heavier weight yarn. My first swatch was with fingering weight, and that looked great, and so does this one. I think I'm going to make a couple more rows and show you how it looks. So this is how it's looking after making a few rows, and you can see that I'm alternating colors at every row. You don't have to do that. You can make it with a single color. I just feel like this will look really nice with alternating colors. And I have been carrying the yarn at the back, and it looks fairly clean. There is you can't really see the yarn over here, and it is also a reversible pattern. So if you see that these stripes show up at the back, it looks just as pretty as at the back as it does in the front. And the pattern comes with written instructions, a chart, and there is this video tutorial to help you with it. I will add a link to everything in the description below, so if you want to check it out, you can find it there. And the only thing that's left in this now is making the bind off row. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pick up this yarn of the other color, change color here, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to make the forward pass, but I'm just going to bind off as I go. So I'm going to make a Tunisian full stitch and slip, and then I'm going to make 4 purl stitches. So that's 1 and slip, and 2, slip, 3 and 4. and then a simple stitch. So I have a separate tutorial for making the bind off row as well. Again, there's a link in the description for you to check it out. So that's a simple stitch, and then another 4 purl stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then full stitch, simple stitch, full stitch, and 4 purl stitches. And then a simple stitch by picking the 3, and then 4 purl stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a full stitch, and the last or the edge stitch. And that's it. At this point you can cut the yarn and weave in ends. So that's pretty much it. I have a bunch of other video tutorials to make some very pretty shawls. They're all free patterns on my blog. You're welcome to check them out. And if you like my videos, please like and give me a subscribe. You will get notified whenever I add more videos. I'll see you in my other tutorials. Bye bye.